want to do a quick brief to explain to you what is happening at the call center. And I'll hand over to Joshua Changwony, who is the PVT Variable Stabilization Manager, to give us a short brief, and then we can do a quick round of questions. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Elog Observation Center. And what we are doing currently is to test our system, whereby we have observers stationed in the sample polling stations across the constituencies in our country. And here we have our data clerks who are responding to the various questions and clarifications that are required by the observers. And here we've sectioned them. We have them according to regions. We have Nairobi, Coast, Western, Nyanza, and calls that are streaming in from those regions go to particular data clerks here. And those questions are channeled to the zonal coordinators who have been in contact with our supervisors who manage these observers in the various constituencies, and they give guidance and responses as per the problems that they raise. We receive this information, and we have our database telling us the information that is streaming in, and we started this work at 11 a.m. today, and as of now, we have 74.5 information which has come, and we have the balance of the 25.5% there. So this is in readiness for the election day, so that we are able to have problems that we expect documented, and we know how to respond to them. Just like there is no network coverage in particular polling stations, we know at what time after the close of the polling and results are gotten from that polling station, the observer and the supervisor will move to where there is network coverage so that they can give us back that information by way of an SMS.
So currently the data clerks have a version of the database in front of them. You can see their laptops, and what they are doing is to search for the missing text messages. So they are able to find out which observer have we not received a message from them, and they're able to call that observer to find out what the problem is, and then help resolve that problem so that then we can receive all the text messages. For purposes of today, and today we are essentially testing our system. We have asked all our observers to send in the second text message. Now the second text message speaks to the voting process. Okay? So the form itself already had answers, dummy information, so to speak, which we had shared with observers. So on the ground from 11 o'clock, they've been sending in that second text message for purposes of the simulation exercise. Now where we realized that there's an observer in a sample polling station who hasn't sent in the information, then the data clerks are here to call out and find out what problem the observer is experiencing and why we haven't received their text message. And that way they are able to guide them on how then we can send that information. On election day, because then we'll be relying on what is happening, on what the observer is observing at the sample polling station. When the information comes in, our first priority is to ensure that we receive all the information from observers. The next step is to do integrity checks on the information that is coming through from the observers to ensure that that information is accurate. Just to give an example, we already have a list of registered voters per station. And one of the checks that we are doing, and that we'll be making, is to check what the observer has sent vis-a-vis what we have on this end. So that, for instance, if a polling station has 800 registered voters, and an observer has sent in, answered to one of the questions, that in that sample polling station there are 2,000 registered voters, our system tells us there's a problem and it flags that out. So we are able to follow up and make integrity checks, do follow up to try and rectify the data before we can analyze and speak to the information that comes in.
They're supposed to be discarded.
Now that will be an aspect we will observe on the part of the commission. Yes, it's a part we will observe, because if they say that in these polling stations, and they have the register saying 500 registered voters, and they allow more people to vote, then there's a problem. So it will be an aspect that we will observe as well.
Therefore, the time that we went from 6 to 5.
Yes.
Bound to go over.
Well, what we have foreseen is include that as one of the questions that we require observers to report as a critical incident. So if machines on the ground fail, poll books fail, then as a critical incident, the observers report that to us, and to be part of the information that the panel and the steering committee members of Elog will be sharing with the rest of the public, that we have observed in these polling stations we're having a problem, and we are requiring that the commission makes intervention in that respect.
Even by 5 o'clock, it's the but these guys came, maybe one or two stations, they began at 9, so the first was at 5. They won't allow them to go to 7 o'clock.
Now that's a question that should go to the commission. But what the law says is, if a voter is at the queue at 5, then that voter must be allowed to vote. Yeah. Thank you very much.